One of the most common things that happens when I try to debunk something is someone will tell me it couldn't be a reflection because there was no light. And that is just simply false. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about light and the spectrum of light and what all that means. So here we have the spectrum of light. And as you can see, this small little section in the middle that I'm circling is the visible light spectrum. So this is where we get colors from, and this is how we can see what we see. So this whole bar at the top is the frequency of light, or the frequencies of light, I should say. Starting at the far left, we have cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays to ultraviolet, which, if we look in the bottom left corner here, is right beside the visual light spectrum. And over on the right, from red, we go into infrared, which is just to the right of the visible spectrum of light. And then it goes to microwaves, things like TVs, radar, and even radio frequencies. So these frequencies, these bands, wavelengths, are light. And so even though we can't see them because they're not within this small visible spectrum, doesn't mean that that light doesn't exist. Now, on one of my most recent investigations, I actually accidentally caught some infrared on my cameras because I have a camera that can see and capture infrared light or transmit infrared light into visible light. And because we have cameras that can capture these lights, we need to be prepared to debunk using non-visible light. Now, on one of my most recent investigations, I captured this wonderful photograph, or a series of photographs, where I had two cameras set up intersecting a single point, but the edge of the camera was able to pick up the other infrared camera I had on screen, and this is what I captured. This picture right here is this investigation site that we were doing. If we look on the far right here that I'm circling, this is a TV mounted on the wall. We're going to see some reflections in that. This is Bonnie here, one of our investigators, lead investigator of Ghost Hunt Alberta. And right behind her, just sitting on the wall, this little tiny thing right in front of her face, that is one of my trap cameras that is motion censored, and it takes infrared pictures, which infrared is not visible to the human eye. This other camera right here, the picture that we're looking at, this camera could see that camera shooting off its infrared flashes of light. So that's what we're getting right here. So you can see there is a flash of light coming from this camera, which no one in the room could see, but here's this giant bright flashing light. And then if we look over on the far right here where the TV is, this is a light flare or a lens flare that you get on your camera sometimes, and this is a lens flare from a light that can't be seen. If we look at the TV, there's a reflection in the TV of this flashing light. So not only do we have the light coming from the camera, we also have a lens flare, and we also have a reflection of light from that infrared in this TV. But no one saw anything. So I'm just going to scroll through a couple of these pictures here, just so we can get a better understanding and show you some different instances of this same set of images. Now this first one, you'll see a young lady here standing right next to the camera, and over on the TV side, you can see this bit of white right beside the reflection. That is her, and as she steps off screen, you can see this disappear, her reflection disappearing. Now as we move forward, here is a shot with the very first shot I showed you, where there's no camera flash. And then we have the flash again, picking up motion. We have the lens flare back, the reflection back, flipping through. Here's a shot where she is blocking the light with her head, so we can only see the highlight in her hair. There's no lens flare here because she's blocking that light from hitting this camera, but we can still see the reflection of the light in the TV. As she moves her head back, instantly the lens flare reappears. And as she moves back further, and we go from having a half covered or a 1/4 covered flash, you'll see the lens flare intensify here as we get a full-on flash on this camera, because these cameras are doing 3 shots at a time. If we move forward a little bit more, I have a couple different shots here. One thing you will notice is earlier on these lights were on here. That's why the room was so lit in these shots. And then we started the investigation and these lights went off and this became darker. That's why that is. So moving forward here again, you can see me and my reflection. Here I am in the TV. You can see my reflection as I move. And this is a beautiful shot right here. She moves forward a little bit. The light from the flash is actually shooting through her glasses, and you'll see right here this glint of light that appears right where I'm circling. That is the lens flare coming actually through her glasses in this tiny little shot, which was beautiful. And here again, so here we have 2 images. There's one right here and one right here. Some might say these are orbs. And if I back it up and I'm moving between these 2 shots, you can see they start right here, right here. The second picture picks them up here and here. Because they're moving so fast, you'll notice a timestamp in the bottom right. We have 8:15:02 and 8:15:03. They go from right here to here. Since they're moving so quickly, I would suggest that they are bugs that are flying. Bugs generally have a reflective exoskeleton quite commonly, and so the infrared is shining from the flash of this camera, the camera that's actually taking this picture, not the one behind her head, causing these bugs to light up into what you might say are orbs. And that's really it. That's all I had for the pictures. So hopefully seeing the sequence of images, seeing that infrared light that no one could see in this room can actually cause a flash, can cause a lens flare, can cause reflection on a screen, even when that light is blocked and we didn't have the lens flare on screen, but we had the reflection. These are the types of things that we need to keep in mind, that just because our visual human eyes are incapable of seeing this spectrum of light doesn't mean that the light isn't there. Doesn't mean that there can't be a reflection. So let's use these tools to help debunk some more stuff. Hopefully you learned something here today. All right, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. See you in the next one.